welcome back everyone to the Trainwell podcast, inspiring you to move more, get stronger, and have fun. We're excited to talk with you today, as we are every day, or I should say every Wednesday. Today we're going to dive into some fitness trends that have been, circling around the socials. Joey and I both aren't really on social media, but even we've heard of these trends, and we want to talk about overrated, underrated, do it, don't do it. We're going to give you all of our opinions on it.
Well, for the record, D, I don't have any social media. That's a cool thing to do, but I guess I haven't had it for like years now. I challenge everybody, by the way, if you can stop your social media channel for a month. I want everyone to do it. So listeners, if you can, let's see if you can pause your Instagram, pause your TikTok, pause your X, pause your Facebook, because this is another trend. We're getting very socially comparably, which I think is a bad road. But regardless, fitness trends. Let's go. D.
Joey, I want to tell you, I actually wasn't on social for a whole year, and I loved it. And then I didn't have to get back on, but I got back on because I thought I was going to be using it for work. And it's amazing how quickly you just get sucked right back in. I got to get it off my phone again. So we're going to talk about fitness trends. So here is the one that I am so excited about, because I would venture to guess, if you live anywhere in the US, maybe, I don't even know. I don't know how many countries this is happening in, but I cannot leave my house without seeing a middle-aged woman in a weighted vest. And I'm a middle-aged woman, so I can say that with confidence that, like, I get it. I love it. Honestly, I love seeing it. So, Joey, I'm curious, did you know about this trend? And is it overrated or underrated in your opinion?
Yeah, I thought this was a trend years ago. I remember when Murph started coming out the big CrossFit workout with the weighted vest.
Yeah.
And that was like over a decade ago. But I still see quite a bit. Like if I'm out trail running, I'll see somebody walking. I can't say when I drive down my street I see people doing it, but I want to give a shout out to the company X Vest. Okay, we're not sponsored by them by no means. If you want to sponsor our show, please hit us up. We'd be more than happy to. But X Vest, probably the best weighted vest you can get, just because it comes with little cells of 2.5 pounds you can load. So check them out. X Vest, that's the best company I found across. But yeah, I think any kind of weighted resistance training it's underrated for sure, because it's a great way, because walking really doesn't count. Steps don't necessarily count as aerobic work, because you can't really get your heart rate up. I'm talking just going on a flat walk, right? You can't get your heart rate up to like 120. Like it's really hard to get it above like 110, 115, unless you're like super, super out of shape. But when you throw a weighted vest on, it can easily climb to like 125, 130, depending on your terrain and the temperature. So I think it's a great tool. Plus you can load body weight movements, push-ups, obviously squats, inverted rows, step ups, big time versatile tool.
Yeah, I really like it. Like, I think if you're out there thinking like, oh, I want a weighted vest, or, whatever, it's called rucking. I used to like make a funny joke when I started seeing these women everywhere walking around, like truly everywhere I'm looking. And I would go, "Oh, what the ruck?" And I thought it was so hilarious. I'm sure like everyone makes that joke. But anyway, I love it because it's so accessible. I mean, you don't have to buy a weighted vest or whatever. Just put a backpack on, fill it with books, and you got yourself a weighted vest. Like, use one of the ones with that like clip strap in the front and around the hips, so it just like sits more comfortably. But like, this is such a good way to like load your skeleton, and to be able to, like you said, get your heart rate up a little bit more, but to also like increase that bone density. I think it has so many benefits, especially if you're feeling like you're short on time, because you could just put it in while you're doing your household chores, while you're doing gardening. Put it in. I meant put it on. Put it on while you're doing literally anything. And it's so functional too, because it's training you for the things you really have to do in your life. Like, I know for myself, you too, Joey, we're picking up kids all the time. Man, they get heavier and heavier. So I think it's just like good practice.
Yeah, it's good axial loading. You mentioned like it loads your frame. Basically, axial loading is like weight on you rather than you lifting the weight. And so this constant axial loading is actually pretty joint friendly. And a big topic we always talked about is longevity. So it's a great way to load your joints without beating them up. And if you go for a walk or do household chores like you mentioned, it's really not going to beat you up. I would suggest people start with 10 pounds though, if they haven't done any kind of external load. Don't jump to the 20 or 40 pounds right off the bat. Start with 10 and progress from there. That'd be my recommendation.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so let's do the
Number
next one.
two.
Number 2.
All right, number 2. Talk to us about what we call animal flows. This craze about getting in tune with our primal movements, like crawling and getting on all fours. Overrated or underrated?
I actually think it's quite underrated because this trend, I think, first popped up like over a decade ago now, but it continues to be a trend. And I think the reason for that is because it is so beneficial for your body, because not only are you doing strength training, you're also doing mobility training. When you're on the ground, like doing bear crawls, doing the gorilla crawl, doing the lizard, I mean, there's so many of them. It's so funny. Or lateral bear crawl, any one of them you do, you're moving through a range of motion you're not typically moving through. And so it can really, really help with like shoulder mobility, hip mobility. It's helping with core strengthening. And I think the reason people are so resistant to it is because they're scared to look like a weirdo at the gym. But honestly, like, look around. Everyone's looking like a weirdo at the gym.
I have a quick story to tell. I had this old client, Donald, brand new to lifting, right? And I said, okay, Donald, here we go. First on the list, we got inchworms. Then we got bear crawls. Then we're going to do a crab walk. And then we're going to do some sort of prone cobra. And so he goes, what is up with all these animals? Like animals, animal this, animal that. He's like, did the dumbbell press become an animal too? Is it going to be like a eagle press or something like that? I think getting in tune with the ground is such a good feedback tool. It's like your coach on how to train your body in space. And so when you do a bear crawl, for example, like you can literally feel yourself pressing into the floor and you can feel different things work. And whenever you make contact with the ground, it's a very safe space to work out. Like quadruped, if you go to the physical therapy realm, it puts all the joints in this really neutral position. It's a great way to, like, your standard cat cow D, like you can feel like too much arch, too much round. You can feel the middle, like where you should train. And I think the ground, especially when you go on your back or on your side or whatnot, you can really feel that feedback come to you. Last thing I'll say here is everybody should Google Tim Anderson, original strength. I'll break it down for you. Basically, they have people in pain, like back pain, neck pain, knee pain. And they found that when you go to the ground and you do basically newborn movements like breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, head nods, rolling, cross crawling, and crawling, you can restore a lot of that pain. And it's a really scaled way to do it. But check out Tim Anderson if you're dealing with some issues for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually, oh sorry, no, I actually love the like those movement patterns for my prenatal and postpartum clients. Because think about, what there's that whole theory you're talking about is like when a baby starts learning to move, what are the first movements they do and why? They're learning to roll side to side, that like core strength, that balance, stability. They're adjusting to like moving through a range, through a plane. And then they're going up onto hands and knees and they start rocking back and forth. We can mimic all those movements. Those are all like super necessary movements for like, alignment, but also like proprioception. It's so important. So I think, just if you have, like you have a baby, Joey, if you have a baby that you can watch, some baby, that sounds creepy, but if there's a baby you can watch, just watch how they move and then mimic that. It's really great for your body.
And their head, like they have a massive head, right? That's their
Yeah,
mobile gym. I always call, like
floats around.
they have to get under that load and move it. My favorite practical takeaway here, my favorite finisher involving crawling is this, okay? It's a Tabata exercise. So try this, D. This is a good one. You
Okay.
do so Tabata is 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest, right? For 8 rounds. And I want people to do 2 exercises. Bear crawl forward for 20 seconds. Okay, slow bear crawl, stability bear crawl, so don't go super fast. Rest for 10, switch to a bear crawl, or sorry, a crab crawl, and then go either forward or backward. Really doesn't matter. You can also do like 10-second forward bear crawl, 10-second backward bear crawl, rest 10 seconds, and then 10-second crab walk forward, 10-second crab walk back. Just Google those if you don't know what those are. But man, your heart rate will get up. You'll get some serious mobility in there, and you'll get some stability in there too. So try that out.
Now I want to tell you a quick story.
All right.
So have you ever tried bear crawling backwards, Joey?
Of course. All
Yeah.
directions, forward, backward, side to
Yeah.
side.
Lateral. So when I went and got certified, I got a MoveNat cert, which is it's natural movement certification. When I did this, they have a practical movement piece where you're tested on all these movement patterns and your ability to do them and teach them. And so I woke up that morning of that day with like a horrible headache because the Airbnb I was staying in, they blasted music all night. It was insane. Had a horrible headache. And you have to do bear crawls opposite arm and leg moving. So instead of like same arm, same leg move, you do opposite. And when I got to the backwards part, I was like frozen. Like for some reason, my mind could not connect opposites. And he literally stopped me and he's like, "Do you want to try that again?" And I was like, "Yes, please." But now it's like one of my favorite things to do is backward bear crawls because it's like a brain challenge as well. So fun.
Yeah, it's synchronization, and that's how we walk, right? In this contralateral
Yeah.
pattern, left arm forward, right leg forward. Unless you're a
Hmm.
robot, and then robot, left arm, right. Anyways, moving on, D. Let's get
Yeah.
into. Did you ask me or did I ask you?
No, I want to ask you. I'm going to
Okay,
ask you.
hit me.
Okay. So here's a trend. It's been trending since, I guess, the Kardashians, right? Is like glutes, like big glutes. And all I see on social media is fitness influencers posing, flexing their glutes. And it's like the things that get the most hits are like my glute workout, my whatever. Big do these 5 moves for huge, enormous glutes. And like, what do you think about this?
It's great to a point. I think it's a little overrated. However, I don't want to underplay how important the glutes are for your low back health, for your posture, for your gait, for basically any performance, like any performance protocol we look at, you have to involve the glutes, right? Hip extension. But here's what I don't like about it is people think they can get, Sir Mix-a-Lot butts, right? Even though a huge genetic proponent is at play here, like the influencer you see, like the 20-year-old model or whatever, right? You may not be able to get those glutes with like mini band walks and clamshells and whatnot. But I do love how it does emphasize proper training for the backside, the posterior chain. Nothing can strengthen your body like a good deadlift. I know you love deficit deadlifts, right? Bulgarian split squats and step ups and hip thrusts. And so I do think it's a little overrated, but please don't ever think that the glutes are not important because they are a staple in any great training program. What do you think, D?
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's like the glutes are, some of the most important muscles we have in our body for like proper, body functioning. Like we said, it's vitally important to have strong glutes. They're very metabolic. They're huge muscle
Biggest
in
muscle.
your body. Yeah. So it's definitely important for sure. And it's like all the exercises you just named that are great for your glutes are exercises that I think should be in everybody's strength training program, because they're so functionally important, like hip thrusts and deadlifts, everything you just said. But the emphasis, like aesthetics, the emphasis we're putting on the aesthetics of huge glutes, I think is for sure overrated. Like, you do not have to have massive glutes to be strong and healthy and confident and beautiful and all these other things. And like you said, genetics are at play here. I mean, it's a huge factor. I've been strength training for like 20 years, doing glute work this whole time, and I have just like normal glutes. It's like my genetics, everyone's genetics. It's just like your height, like anything else. So yeah, I think everyone should still definitely train glutes, but you don't need to only be training glutes, and you don't need to buy into this idea that you have to have this very specific body shape and size.
If Brett Contreras is listening, Brett, don't get mad at us. Okay, we love your work. You're the glute guy. If you want some glute exercises, check out Brett Contreras. But I think I want to tell people, like the mini band exercises you see on social media, like a flow or something.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that the glutes are just like a normal muscle, right? Where they have to get bigger. You need to adhere, taking them through a full range of motion, right? So flexion, extension, and you have to overload, right? They're not some unicorn muscle. But if you want, my opinion, if you want to sprinkle those banded exercises in, do them as you're resting between a heavy set of deadlifts or as part of your warm up to activate them a little bit. But don't think that doing them in isolation is going to get you these massive glutes, because what's going to get you the most bang for the buck are those compound movements we talked about: squatting patterns, hinging patterns, etc.
And eating.
And
You have to fuel your body properly to build any muscle. So if you want to build muscle in general, a lot of people who want to, I find, have big glutes also want to be very thin. And so they're restricting calories, and then they're not seeing the glute gains. So, that's a component too. We don't need to dive into that whole thing, but balanced nutrition,
before we
fiber,
move on,
carbohydrates.
D, give us your number one favorite glute exercise. Go.
I don't think you will think this is a glute exercise. I think it's more quads, but this is the number one move that always works my glutes so much, and is like the only move where I feel truly sore after every time I do it, which is heavy barbell reverse lunges. Yeah.
I love the reverse lunge, but I'm going to say a front foot elevated reverse lunge, because you
Mm-hmm.
can really get that extra range of motion in that front side. Hot tip though is set yourself up on a 4-inch box or a platform, step back in that lunge, but then when you come up, I want that client person to imagine they're taking their foot, whatever foot is on the platform in front of them, and like digging a hole through that platform as they come up. So you can really get that entire backside to just light up, get your glutes on, get your glute gains. Anyways, last one, D. I laughed when you sent this. I've never heard of this. Hot girl walks. Overrated, underrated. Can you give us a little backstory, some context here?
Yeah, I feel like this trend has been going around with a few different names. Right now, I think it's hot girl walks, but I can't remember the other names, but I've seen similar things too. But essentially, what it is it's a walk, but its focus is more on like mental health, in the sense of like, you're not listening to podcasts or music necessarily, or if you are, it's like calming music, and you're meant to kind of go into like more of a meditative state, like affirmations, visualizations. It's really focused like intentionally around self-care. So it's for like mood boosting. And I love this concept. I'm like, whatever on the name, but like the idea of setting aside time that you're going to just move your body in a way that is gentle, and use that time specifically to just go inward and take care of yourself and improve your mindset. I love it. I think it's great. I think everyone should do it. Hot boy
Yeah.
walks too.
Yeah. I love it, because I think we live in a time now where that quiet time alone, right? The thinking, the clarity, the going inward, as you said, is completely underrated. And if you could do it in nature, right? Get some morning sun in your eyes, listen to the birds, listen to the seagulls, listen to the waves crash on the beach. All that's really good. I would just say if you're going to do a hot girl walk, okay, wear your super hot red or hot pink pants, right? And don't listen to any music though. I think I can disassociate yourself with or if you're going for a 15-minute walk, maybe only do like 5 minutes of podcast time and then maybe 10 minutes to just clear your head.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's something that I want to do more is disengage from. I'm obsessed with podcasts. I need to disengage from podcasts for just like a period of time, because you start to realize there's never a moment in the day where it's just quiet unless I'm going to sleep. And I'm like, I need more quiet time in my life. So yeah, it seems like we agree with all these trends. Like these are trends that I'm glad they're trending, because for the most part, in the past, when you saw a fitness trend, you typically go run the other direction, right? Like there's so many bad fitness trends out there over the years, and these four I can really get on board with.
Yeah, I'm glad we had this discussion because I hope it gave the listener some good practical stuff and you heard it from the professionals yourselves. So, listeners, we always thank you for listening to us. If you have more trends that you would like to shoot our way, please email us or you can even text us. One listener requested that we talk about PCOS. So, listener, if you're out there, that is coming soon. Okay. Most likely within the next couple weeks, we will get something out with PCOS.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone out there is wanting to incorporate some of these trends into their fitness routine, but they want a little help doing that, you can, of course, sign up for Trainwell 14 days free by clicking the link in our show notes and talk to your trainer about how you can start doing some animal flows in your strength training routine.
Talk to you guys next time.
Bye.